on this computer. Okay, so we're live and we're recording. So Carol, it's all yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. The programs are so informative and we have such a broad range of guests. Before we get started tonight, I'll let you know that in one month we have, sorry, I'm just Charles Needle talking about using your camera as a paintbrush for impressionistic work. So he's someone who does this for a living. He'll be joining us third Thursday in February. And yes, I do believe he actually might be a person who doesn't want us to record. So you might want to mark that on your calendar. I'll let everyone know ahead of time. That'll be on a Facebook event right away. And I'll get an initial email out, but it's February 16th. So mark your calendars for that. And tonight I want to welcome Teresia Moreno, who is the official photographer for the Cherry Festival, National Cherry Festival. And she's been volunteering for 5 years and manages a stable of photographers during that time. I've got a PowerPoint here, her PowerPoint, and I'm going to share it and turn it over to her. So she's going to talk. And if you have questions, what I'd ask, I'm not going to, once I start sharing my screen, I can't see the rest of your names. So if you have a question, if you put it in the chat, if you're unaccustomed to Zoom, you just move your mouse around and you'll see in the bottom middle of your screen chat. And if you just click on that, you'll be able to type. So if I could add, David, if you would just kind of watch that, if in case I miss something, I'll bring it up. But otherwise, we welcome your questions throughout and we'll certainly take it at the end. So thank you so much. Teresia, native of Traverse City, yes?
Yes.
Okay, welcome. I'm going to start sharing and turn this over to you.
Okay. I usually don't speak or anything because I'm usually behind the camera. So yes, like Carol said, I am the director of photography for the National Cherry Festival. And I started in 2017. And for the first year, I just took pictures for them and uploaded it in a flash drive for them. And then they asked, they were looking for somebody just to help manage and help the team and just kind of manage people because the one girl who was doing it had more responsibilities. So I thought about it, I think maybe 20 minutes or less, probably more like 20 seconds. And I said yes. And she's like, okay, great. And she handed it over to me. And from then I just have my crew, and about April, May or so, I reach out just asking, hey, are you still interested? And pretty much they all say yes. They all want to come back and take pictures that whole week. And some can only do like the weekend, or some can do, only a couple days. I end up actually doing all 8 days, and which makes it a long day, but it's a fun day because I have met so many different people, the volunteers, and I enjoy going down there. And I was born and raised in Traverse City, so I've seen the Cherry Festival since I was a kid. So, but this is like the first time I've actually really just volunteered and jumped right into it. But so I made a PowerPoint, and it's just pictures that I've taken this year. Actually, I was going to put some from the past, but they were on my other computer that broke and I couldn't get that in time. It's taken me a while just to get it fixed. So these are from, except this one picture, the Blue Angels. No, actually this is this year. I did take them before, but this is this year's picture. And I'm not sure if it was Saturday or Sunday, but that when I saw it on the computer, I was like, I couldn't believe I actually got that picture. So, but I was pretty proud of it. And that is my first picture. You could probably go to the next screen.
There we go. There you
Okay.
are.
Yeah, this is me in actually DC. My daughter actually took that picture. She actually likes taking pictures too, photography and stuff. So, but I have about 10 to 12 people that I work with during that whole week, and quite a few are from Traverse City. There's some from downstate actually that have been coming years, and they just gave me their email, so I reached out to them. But yeah, they've all usually come up from like not Grand Rapids, but Detroit area. About 4 of them, I think. And so, and a lot of our pictures are used on the website, the brochures, the book that comes out every July, end of June, that says everything that's going to happen at the Cherry Festival. So that is, I noticed last year, my picture that I took from the porch parade, they actually used my picture right in the center. So I was like, that was awesome. So I really like going through there and seeing all the different pictures that everybody's taken, because pretty much they all run around just taking pictures. And so, but yeah, that's me. I have 4 kids, aging 20, 19, 15, and 13. And so I have 3 of them at home right now, and my oldest is serving in the military. So I usually drag the 2 younger ones with me if I'm going to events. And so they actually started volunteering last year. So we're trying to get them more involved. So, because since I'm there, they can be there and help. So, but yeah, you can go to the next screen.
Okay. Can I ask you a question about the volunteers? So you said, have all of these that are coming back now, did you quote unquote inherit them? Have they been coming longer than you, or are there some that you've recruited?
Some I've recruited, some have, I just got them. They are like, here you go. Here's some of the people that have wanted to take pictures, and like, I don't know how long some of them have, but yeah, I just basically inherited them and stuff. So
and is there so if someone were volunteering, would you just take anyone? Are they required to submit any kind of portfolio or have any particular kind of equipment?
No, just because it's volunteer, so we don't get paid. And so usually just a camera. Some of them will bring tripods for like the air show or the fireworks. It's some people have actually sent me like here's a few pictures that I've done just to show what they can do, and we're like, oh, awesome. It's really cool to see what other people can take and stuff. So we just kind of look, and then if somebody can't do it that year, we either don't fill in, or we just I end up usually doing the pictures. So
sure,
but yeah.
And do you assign them to events, or do you just say go where you're interested?
Yeah, so I have actually I didn't put it in the PowerPoint, but I have an Excel sheet that I type up everything. Like if you go into the events, the next screen, I did a few samples, but like the air show, the parades, the breakfast, that's just a handful of them, but I put them all in Excel. And then I actually go in and put the dates and the times that are happening. So if like the air show is Saturday and Sunday, so I put Saturday through Sunday, whatever time it is. And then I just have another where they can sign up or let me know that's what I like to do. The Queen's Ball, for instance, that one of my photographers does that every year. There's like 2 of them that go there, every year. And they're like, can I do that again? I'm like, yes, thank you. And then that helps me knowing who is at those major events. So I don't have to worry like trying to get there or trying to get myself there or trying to find somebody else. So I had, and the teddy bear tea. There's one of my photographers, she loves going to that. So she just goes every year, takes the pictures, and that's pretty much the only event she can do because she only has a small amount of time. So I know she's there. You know, so like the Midway, the beer tent, the souvenir tent, kids club, those are just kind of open if you're just walking around and you see something and you want to take a picture. So that's how I have been doing it the last 3, well, not 2020 and 2021, but or somewhere, you know, but I've done it ever since I took over. I did an Excel sheet. And I found that's
Teresa?
really easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question here, a couple.
Mhm.
If you wanted to if I wanted to volunteer with you, how can I apply for that? And the other is, do volunteers get a press pass to get into events?
Okay. Yeah. So if you wanted to volunteer, you can just email me or, and I can, you know, give you my email and you just email me and I put you on my list. And then in about April or May, I'll send out a massive email to everybody who wanted to volunteer or who has volunteered in the past saying, are you still interested? And then I just put you on my list. And then after I get that all organized, I send out another one to the ones who want to volunteer. And then I'm just like, okay. And then we go from there. And then you get a bunch of emails from me for that whole week and prior. So, and
So
then
is that
what
the
was-
email address that you've been using to communicate with me?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That's
is
the
it-
best one.
Is that okay? I don't know that I want to send it out to the, you know, the whole club, but
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do, because when I'm doing this, I really can't see the chat. David, if I email this to you, or text it to you, could you put it in the chat?
Yes, and I wrote down the names of the people asking.
Okay,
So I'll also refer that to Teresa.
okay.
Okay. And then the other question was a press pass.
Yeah, do you get a press pass to get into events?
So, yep. So what we get is, I don't have it on me. I should have, but it's just a pass that has our name on it. It says volunteer photographer. So basically that gets you into, if you want to take pictures at the pancake breakfast, for instance, that event you have to pay for. Or I'm just trying to think. Most of the events we can get into, you just show the pass and most of them are like, okay, go on. But the only one that we cannot get into, that we cannot take pictures, is the Bayside Music Stage. That is regulated by, I guess, the music people. That one is a no. And if you are caught there, you can't volunteer with the photography anymore. So that one is no. That one I actually put in bold letters in my emails, you know, no, this gets you into pretty much everything except the stage. You can't go in there and take pictures. Some may, but they have permission from the Cherry Festival. The people that are in charge of that event, they have permission. But yeah, we can't take pictures of any of the music or anything, but everything else we can. The Princess Tea, I usually go to and take pictures there. And I just show my pass and we get in. So it's basically, you'll get that I usually get that the week prior before Cherry Festival. And then I try to meet with everybody at least just to give them their pass or their t-shirt. Usually the Cherry Festival has a kickoff party, maybe I think like 3 days or a week prior before festival. So that's where I usually just try to meet everybody just so they know who I am and I know who they are. And so if they see me, they know, oh, I know who she is, you know, like a reference, because so many people are there. But yeah, so. And the festival this year is the 1st through the 8th of July. We're coming up to the 97th year of it. So I know there's some plans for the 100th, but right now we're doing this 97th. So, but yeah. Is there another question or?
No, not right now.
Okay, we can go to the next screen. So yep, this one is just a further of that first picture that they were coming around. I actually was standing by the marina. I think that's what it is. But that's event where the barbecue is. So that is a paid event, which if you are taking pictures, you can actually get into. You know, it's more not like you're just sitting there watching, you're actually taking pictures. So they might have food and stuff, and that's for the people that are paying for the event. But that I was like standing next to a Record Eagle person, John Russell, though I saw was in the chat. So that was cool just to chat with him. And but that one I think was Saturday, maybe I got that picture. But I enjoy taking the pictures of the air show. I like that. Usually those 2 days, I take probably close to 2,000 pictures just in those 2 days of the air show, just because they're blurry, you know, because they're coming so fast. So it's like 1 out of 5 of my pictures might turn out, but I figure, hey, why not? You can go probably to the next one.
Yeah.
Whoops. Right. Oh,
there we go.
So these are a little darker, but the top left-hand corner one are the Blue Angels coming in. And then the other one, I can't remember what that one was. It was like an F something. I know it was loud and fast. And then I like really taking pictures at the 2 bottom ones of the crowds, just people. I like seeing how people interact with each other. So usually I can get the picture, and most of the time nobody really notices that I get it until after, and they're like, oh, don't take my picture. I'm like, I already got it. Like you could see John talking to the one girl from the Blue Angels, and he was just talking. And so I'm like, I snapped the picture because usually you don't see the people taking pictures. So I like that one. But this crowd was really big, but right there is so hot. So you always want to wear a hat. The first day I did not wear a hat. The second day I did, but that I really enjoyed. That was actually the first year I actually took pictures from that area. Usually I would go down to the beer tent, but I wanted to try a different angle. So I went there, and I really enjoyed standing there this year.
Teresa, something that you said reminded me of another question. You said, you know, sometimes when you're taking pictures of people, they go, oh, don't do that. And you've already captured an image. Are there any model releases or permissions?
Yeah, that's actually in the brochure. It says if you are on any of the venues, any on Cherry Festival property, kind of like wherever the Cherry Festival is, you're giving permission for us or anybody to take your picture. So you're basically signing it. Yeah. Yep.
Got it.
Yeah. So, which a lot of people probably don't read that, but yeah, it is in there.
Right.
But most people are just because they don't want their picture taken because they don't, you know, their hair is messed up or something. But actually, I like those the best because it's just natural. So,
yep.
All right. Can go to the next one.
Actually, part of that response is anybody in public, you can take their picture.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a release from them. If it's a minor child, you should. But during the Cherry Festival, the parents expect you to be taking pictures of their kids. They're hoping they will.
And they're hoping they're on the next brochure, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So this was the pancake breakfast. That's usually Saturday morning. And I usually come from the Zoom one, and then I come here and I take pictures. And the little girl, she's just standing there and she's just cute. And so I'm like, and she was wearing the festival sweatshirt. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to take a picture of her. And I do like getting the action pictures where they're flipping the pancakes and people are catching them. It's kind of funny to watch them because people get really into that, trying to catch the pancakes and stuff. And the guys who are on the grill, they're fun to watch too and just listen to. They just make a lot of pancakes, and you probably can't see it, but there's actually a lot that are on the ground too. And then I know there's one little girl that went around and picked all the pancakes up and was throwing them away. But it's really cool just to watch the people interact with everybody and stuff from that breakfast. But I do enjoy taking pictures there, and the queen and her court is usually there. So, and that's fun to see them interact. And I usually try to get pictures of them, and and that is fun to always see. So we can go to the next one. All
Oh,
right.
I think I went too far. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I think it's Senator Gary up in the left-hand corner. I know it's a senator, but I remember just saying, hey, can you make sure you get pictures of him? I'm like, sure, because he was just flipping pancakes. So I made sure I got a picture of him. And then below him is the Zumba, and that is in the morning. And these people get up, and it's a really good crowd, and they just do Zumba in the morning. And it's hot out there at that time sometimes, but they seem to enjoy it and get right into it. And I usually try to get pictures of that each year. And then that's in the middle is Queen Allie. I got quite a few pictures of her because she was the queen this past year. She was actually doing the opening ceremonies. I don't know if anybody's really been to those, but it's at 10 on Saturday. And I usually sign myself up for that just because I know I'm going to be there and I can get the pictures for them. And I enjoy doing that because I didn't realize that they did have opening ceremonies at the Cherry Festival. I thought it just happened. So I thought that was pretty cool that they behind her are frames, and they hand those out to, like, I think the mayor, the Coast Guard, and a couple other ones. But usually I'm just taking pictures and getting whatever I can find. Below that, I usually always every year try to get pictures of the cherries, of course. And I know that picture has been used a couple times in the brochure. Just because I look at certain things in my picture so I can pretty much figure out which ones are mine. So, and then that picture with Allie, that's at the Princess Tea. That is another event that I actually go do myself. I put myself up just because I do like that event, just seeing all the little girls in their dresses, and they really do enjoy it, and they get to meet the court and just talk to everybody. And the court and the queen, they're just super friendly, and they just go around and talk to the girls. And this past year, I actually had my daughter come. She was my camera bag girl. So I actually had her carry my bag. So, because I bought a couple different lenses that day, and she enjoyed it. She had fun there. So let's see the next slide. This is the kids club. So, and special kids. So I usually go to that one too. Like I said, I'm pretty there every day. But I enjoy taking the pictures at kids club because the kids usually don't notice you until you've already taken the picture. Some kids will actually look and want their picture taken. And then they'll ask me, can I see it? And I'm like, sure. And so I show it to them, and their parents they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you actually got a picture of my kid. But I usually just try to do a variety of them. So at the office, they can choose what they want to use for promotions. But that's always fun to do. What's the next screen? This is more of kids. This little girl up in the left-hand corner, she was doing, oh, like match 3, I think, and she was having really fun with that. And her mom's like, come on, we gotta go, but she kept playing with it. The little girl below, that's actually one of my former preschool students, Macy, at the school I worked with. She actually broke her arm the week before Cherry Festival, but she was the princess. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, I need some pictures of the prince and princesses. And so she's always a good sport about it. I know I can always get her to smile. And she's actually was at the butterfly exhibit this year. And a lot of people enjoy that, seeing the butterflies. And then the fire truck was special kids and they were having fun. And I just happened to see them coming down the road. So I actually ran out there to get the picture. But they were like laughing from being on there. And then below is the Midway. That's just one of the pictures of the Midway that I put in. It seemed like everybody was having fun down there. So I think that was Kids Day yet, and Special Kids maybe. I think that was that day. And then I know I'm gonna get the cherry person. I can't remember his name, but that is a good, it's so he has a helper and she helps him around and everybody really likes just seeing. I can't think of the person's name, the cherry person's name. But it's really cool to see them because I usually can get pictures of them and they're just fun to interact with the kids, and kids actually really like, and adults too. A lot of adults run up and to get pictures. So, but that was Kids Day. The next screen is the making pies. I really like getting pictures of this too. So the kids were getting ready to make the pies. So the little boy that's standing with one of the court, I actually know his mom, and I didn't realize I knew him until after I put my camera down. I just thought he was cute with the little chef outfit making pies. But these kids really enjoy it, and the parents, and I like the lady because she's always like, parents, step back, let the kids do it. It's their pie. And I really like seeing how the kids interact with the court and the queen, and they seem to have fun making the pies. So, let's see the next one. All right, this is the powwow. I think that's what it's called, but I probably am wrong saying it. But I actually do like getting here and taking the pictures right in the beginning. This year I actually stayed a little bit longer, so it was kind of cool just to see, what they were doing. But they just came out and were dancing and singing, and it was hot that day. And a lot of these little kids, they were in the sun, but they wanted to go in the shade, but they still stayed out in the sun, and they just had fun. And I like just taking pictures of the cultures and actually seeing people learn about, the culture. And then they, talk about Traverse City, but it's just really cool to take those pictures. And I like just going to those events and just seeing all the events that they have. And that's actually in the stage where the music is. So that's actually open during the day for like events for like Zumba. I think this event, maybe one more, but I don't remember. But I do like taking that one. Okay, the next screen. Let's see. So this is the diaper derby. This is actually the first time I've actually went to this event. I was early for my one event I was going to. So I actually drove down to FMM Park and went there, and these kids can really move on that platform. And it's just fun to see the little kids. And one little boy, I think he actually won his race, but they just seem to have fun racing, and and some kids want to do it again, so they come back. But that event's pretty cool to see. If you've never seen it, it's pretty cool to go watch. The little kids, the parents are cheering on like treats and toys, and just like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Where is that? Tressa, I mean, it looks like a track. I'm sure it's not. Is that just like a,
It's like what he's on.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a stage. And
Okay.
so I think that's like not paper, but
Like
yeah,
vinyl
like
or something like that?
vinyl or something. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's something so they don't hurt their legs and feet, but
Yeah.
and they have to crawl though.
Yeah, great.
But that's, yeah. And then the next one. This is actually the event that I was actually early for, and they moved it actually to the beer tent because it started to rain that day. So they wanted to move it so the kids didn't get wet. And this is the Prince and Princesses Awards. So they get presented as the one little boy with or Queen Allie, a plaque so they can take back to their school. And those pictures are presented, best award, best float. And then they actually do get to do a pie eating contest. So they separated the boys and the girls, the princesses and the prince, just so it was like boys against girls. And then a lot of these kids got into it. And then there's Macy again with her face. She wanted to hug, and I said, nope, I'm not hugging you today. But she asked me at the end, she goes, what's my prize? And I'm like, I don't know what your prize is. So I actually end up going down where they do the pie eating contest, and I got her a little prize and I gave it to her. She was pretty happy because she beat all the girls there. But they really do like the court and the queen. They present all the awards, as you can see up in the left-hand corner. And they just seem to have fun and, interacting with the kids. And then they get a pizza at the end and just kind of visit and just have fun. And they get a medal that says prince or princesses on it. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. The next slide, I think, is the pie eating contest. Yep, the pie eating contest. So on the bottom left-hand corner is all the pies that the volunteers played up and served to the kids. The top one is them eating, and it gets pretty messy. A lot of these kids have done it for a few years or longer, and they've mastered it, so they're pretty good at it. Then the one middle picture, it's what was that? Kind of like Idol, but Cherry Idol for singing. She was actually really good. I actually stayed for a little bit and watched some of her set. Below is the chalk drawing. And I didn't realize that's where they did that. I always saw it every time I walked by, but I actually caught some people actually doing it this year, which was really cool just to see them drawing all the different pictures. And then the one girl who has the volunteer shirt, that was our shirts this year, I think. Her name is Teresa, but she volunteers with her mom. And she was actually doing a craft at the Home Depot. So I wanted to get a picture of that just to show, hey, they do have kid events too, with kids, young kids, and they want to do something. So that's always a fun event, and it's really busy when they are open. So that's that slide. This is a slide of volunteers at the music stage. I asked to go. I'm just like, they wanted a couple pictures. I'm like, well, I'll get them if I can get in just to take pictures of the volunteers. I really just wanted the volunteers. So I got in there and I and then once the music start, I put my camera away. Because I didn't want it to them to take it away, the security people. So I put it away. But these volunteers come back year after year. I see a lot of the same volunteers and they enjoy it. A lot of them I hear say it's like revisiting with family members, reunion for the whole week. So, but yeah, that's inside a little bit of the stage. And the next one, this is on the parade route. That's Queen Olivia. So that is Saturday after she won. The left-hand corner, that's the parade where all the schools line up. 20, I think, or so. But I actually just walk down there and I take pictures of them getting their floats ready, just because it's kind of cool to see how, getting their floats ready. And a lot of them are like, don't take it yet. I'm like, no, I want to see you working on it. I want these pictures. So, and Queen Olivia, that's actually my daughter who actually volunteered this year. Her name's Lily, and she wanted a picture with a queen every year. So I got a picture of that. And then, so that's just a little bit of the parade. But I usually take a lot of pictures during the parade, during the 2 days that they usually do the parade. So, but yeah, that's just a few. This one is more of the volunteers. Up here in the left-hand corner is actually the Oasis tent, and the one right with a lady that has the orange and she's talking to the lady. That's another of the Oasis tent. That's for the volunteers. Volunteers actually serve the volunteers. So there's food there that you don't have to pay. You just go in, get a bite to eat. They have water, pop usually. Sometimes they have pie and stuff, but it's just kind of just to get away from the crowd and just kind of take a minute and sit. And then the picture in the left-hand bottom corner, yeah, that one is the Pepsi tent. So that actually took me like 8 tries to get that one because they kept goofing off and I'm like, no, just stand still. And one of them didn't want to do it, but I finally talked her into it. So it was fun just to see them. And then Sparky's up there. He's in the middle. I think he helps run the pies at the pie eating contest. I talk to him here and there when I'm there. And then Kat, the director of the National Cherry Festival, is talking to the person for the air show, I think. She was live that day, so I got a picture of her. So, but that's volunteers. A lot of the volunteers actually help and put this on for a whole week. Next one.
I'm gonna just ask.
Yeah.
Didn't advance. There it is. Does anyone have any questions? I don't see any in the chat, but I just want to pause a second. I have one that could fit in here anywhere or at the end, and that is, how are all the photographs submitted and processed? So there are a number of photographers, and I would imagine, you could end up with 1,000, 2,000 images if you're there for very long. So do you call them? Do you just, do they all come to you? Is there a platform for submitting? Kind of all of those? Yeah.
Yeah, a good question. So what I usually do at the kickoff meeting, or if I have to meet them somewhere, I actually have flash drives that the office gives me. And I usually ask them, do you want 1 or 2? Some of them are like, I need 3. So they actually take their own photos, go home, edit them, and put them on the flash drive. And then they drop it off at the office downtown. and then they go through it. So it can be a lot of flash drives. So
Right.
usually I start out with like 25, and I usually end up taking 3. There's a couple of them that usually just take 3, and they just turn them in and stuff. So,
Okay.
but yeah, they
And-
edit all their pictures.
So they do their own editing, and then are you the person that looks at them all and says, these are the ones we're going to use on the website? Or is that done by a committee or the director?
The marketing, creative marketing, that's Bailey.
Okay.
So she works there, and I work actually really close with her too. And so, yep, she goes, or Alex, who's promoting, he goes through them, and there's certain ones they're looking for, certain events or certain pictures
Yeah.
they're actually looking for. So they'll go through them all. If they didn't find them in the first few ones, they usually end up going to some of mine or some of the other ones that have been doing it a lot longer. And they're like,
Okay.
I know this person got this picture. And usually they're like, yes, I found it, like,
Okay.
yeah.
And,
So they go through them.
is there a timeline for people, so you're there on day one and you have whatever, 800 photos. Is there a timeline to get those into the office? Because some of them are used like right now, right? During the festival?
Some might be put on like Facebook, but
Yeah.
those are actually like Bailey, she walks around, so she might take them on her personal phone.
Okay,
A lot of these are used the next year.
okay,
Or later in the year. So I
Okay.
usually tell them try like about a month. And I'm like, and then I check in with the office.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, who are you missing? And so I sent out an email. Hey, they didn't get your flash drive yet. Are you still editing? So I try to
Got
do I did one time like 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh, that's not fast enough turnaround. Some people, it takes, a while and to
Yeah,
go through all the photos. And so
Okay.
I try to do about a month.
okay, good, okay.
We
thank
got
you.
a couple questions here. Are you seeing the chat or not?
Oh, yeah, I actually figured out where I can pull that down. Okay,
Yeah.
so, how quickly do you need the photos after the events? And how are they used apart from the brochures? So I think that's partly answered.
Yeah.
How, so you want that people to turn in their flash drives within a month?
Yeah, within a month,
Okay.
or even, if it's long, if some of them are like, hey, I haven't got to it yet. I'm like, well, that's
Yeah.
okay, at least by August, sometime middle August.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and then how are they used apart from brochures?
The website, I know one year they had to submit pictures like to get awards. So they use like maybe one of the parade pictures of one of their floats. So they use it a lot in marketing,
Okay.
kind of whatever they need. So yeah, it just depends whatever they're looking for. If they're trying to find sponsors, they'll use
Yep.
that. It just depends
So
whatever they need.
marketing goes on all year, doesn't it?
Yes.
So
Yep.
they're going through these photos all year, looking
Mhm.
for what's appropriate for how they're marketing the festival
Yep.
in other
Yeah.
places, because it's not just
Yes.
marketed here in Traverse City, right?
No.
Nationally.
Yeah. So when the Queen goes, like, I think she went to this out to California just maybe this month. And so, they
Okay.
took products out there, and so yeah, they just kind of use it on the website, kind of wherever they need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then another question is, can people purchase photos taken at the festival? And are photographers' names added to the photos?
I'm not sure if they can purchase the pictures.
Mhm.
We pretty much, once you give the pictures, you kind of give that up to them. It's the cherry festivals, it's theirs. So I don't think so. I can ask and get back
No,
to
but
you,
what I mean is,
but
the festival doesn't sell photos.
no, No,
Okay.
is that what you mean? Okay, yeah.
I
no.
think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
Susan,
and-
if I got that wrong, hop in here. Are photographers' names attached to a photograph?
No, no, so,
Okay.
but we are listed in the brochure. Like all the people who are taking photos, so yeah, no, I've asked a couple times, but,
Yep,
so I don't know, I have to talk to Bailey and just see,
Sure.
it'd be nice, like maybe a few times,
yeah,
must have been like a few years ago. If they put it on the website and they know who took it, they'll name that person, but usually no. So
Yeah.
it's kind of anonymous. So you really don't know if it's your picture or not, but it's kind of
Okay.
cool just to, yeah.
great.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, are we going on to the next one? I can't remember now if I.
This one is just, of the beer tent.
Okay,
So I just took a few pictures of people listening to the band that was playing there that day. They actually had a band there, which was actually
Uh-huh.
pretty nice. At the beer tent. So people were just having fun, more volunteers, event people. So yeah, you can go on to the next one. Let's see. This is part of the parade in the beginning. The left-hand corner, the one where they're standing by the car,
mhm,
that is just, they're just getting ready to go on the parade. But I think that's pretty cool just to see them standing and waiting to get in line. And
mhm.
then the Coast Guard flying by. This year they had 3 helicopters, which is pretty cool to see them fly by. And that's the start of the parade, actually. When they fly by, that's when they start the parade. And then the one picture below the princess, that's actually a ticket event that you sit behind kind of gates and you watch the parade, the beginning of the parade, and they serve you food, and the volunteers just, it's like, I think they had brats and what else? They had another thing, I don't remember, but it's really just really cool. A lot of people enjoy it and they just sit there and watch the parade. So that's really cool to see. And then the new head person of the Coast Guard, I got a picture of him. He actually just looked right at me and I took it. So, and
Perfect.
his little girl smiling and waving. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right.
Okay,
I think I only have a couple more.
uh-huh,
This is a little bit more of the parade. The one where it has the cherry on it,
right there.
where is it? Nope, the next one. The
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a red float. Yep.
Yeah.
That's actually the ambassador float, that if you are an ambassador, you can actually walk and ride on the float. They have their own float. It's towards the beginning of the parade. And that's Jan, who's waving, sitting in the dark red with the glasses. She's actually in charge of the Oasis. So it's kind of cool just to sit there and wave and watch. They put that float together probably in about a half hour, 45 minutes to get that float ready, and people just sit on it and and they could see the parade. But any of the ambassadors can walk the parade. So yeah.
mhm.
And then
Okay,
just a
there's
little
ano-
bit more.
Yep,
Mhm.
another question, Tressa. Do photographers totally give up their rights as photographers to the images? Or can you post it on your own website and or Facebook page?
Yeah, I do post some of my own pictures on my own website, or not, or my website, or my Facebook page. But yeah, you kind of give it up just because once they have the flash drive, it's theirs. So they can kind of do so. Yeah, but you can post your own. I actually do, like the air show or one of the parades. I'll post mine to say, hey, this is what happened today. I actually
Mhm.
do that for myself, and I'll include it in the flash drive too. But yeah, yep, we do.
Okay, thank you.
These pictures are just a bunch of different ones. The left-hand one, right up, left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Yep, that one is the Princess T. He actually is a really good singer. can't remember his name, but he is really good. He sang the national anthem at the opening ceremony, but he's in charge of the tea, I think now. Below it is the beer tent. One of our volunteers helping. The one in the two in the middle, one is of the pancake breakfast, and then below it is actually the Blue Angels gift shop. So they were setting up and people were trying to buy and they weren't even open yet. And they had to say, no, we're not open yet. Just wait. So, and then I actually got John Russell in this one. Again, he was, him and I usually end up going to a lot of the events. I actually do enjoy just standing next to him and just kind of learning from him. But he was taking a picture right there. So I took a picture of him, getting another picture.
I saw that and I thought, is that John Russell?
Yeah. Yep.
They're very
So,
good.
Yep. But usually him and I run into each other in all the events. Most of the major events, we end up running into each other, which is so cool, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think this one might be the last slide.
Yeah.
So this is, let's see, more of the butterfly, just people interacting. Like I said, I like interacting with the people, the guests that are coming, just because it is fun just to see where everybody's from. Below that is Queen Olivia. That is actually the closing ceremony. So they have opening and closing. So I actually go to those and take pictures. She's doing the raffle for the car and a couple other things. I believe she was like getting the raffle. She enjoyed that. And then another close up of the cherries. I kind of spent a little bit at the different farm markets. There's only about 2 of them there that do the cherries. And I'm like, I'm taking some of these cherries and taking pictures of them. They're like, okay. So, and then the pie and ice cream stand, and then some volunteers at the beer tent. So, but pretty much everybody's pretty good about just having their picture taken and stuff. So haven't had too many, I don't think really any complaints, but it's just nice to see everybody.
Yeah. Very good. So what questions does everyone else have?
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah.
There we go, Steve.
No?
Steve?
Okay. Yeah, so now that slideshow that was basically kind of showing sections from the brochure or what?
No, those were my pictures that I took this past year. So I just showed different parts of the Cherry Festival, just different
Okay.
events there. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, and then it looks like you probably had to crop them certain ways in order to get them on that layout.
Yeah, it's just the PowerPoint that I chose, and yep, I just cropped them and pretty much got them in there, and yeah.
All right.
And Susan has a question. What lenses do you use the most?
Which one is it? I got a new one, and I think it's the 50 to 200. I shoot with a Canon, so yeah, there's one lens that can go really close and pretty far, so that's
So
the one I
you
usually
use a zoom.
Yep,
Yep.
the zoom. And then I usually just shoot manual. I just kind of mess around with everything just to make it work. So, but yeah.
Great. Okay.
Well, I guess one thing do you recommend to your volunteers that they have, in their own insurance on their equipment and that kind of thing? Are they informed that they're responsible for that?
No, they're pretty much they just carry their equipment. So I think there is something there. If it's lost, it gets turned in. But I usually just tell them, just keep your equipment on you, don't set it down. So, but yeah, they don't really, a lot of the photographers just carry it with them and stuff. So I don't know if they have insurance on their cameras.
Okay.
Great.
So we had one other, do we have this, John, every
I
Oh,
had a
yeah.
remark.
photo ever taken is copyrighted by the shooter?
Oh,
Yeah, it's federal law.
oh,
Federal law says whoever pushes the button, that's their photograph and it's copyrighted. The Cherry Festival will use the images, but if you want to sell one, you post it on your Facebook site. You can sell it to anybody. And the Cherry Festival will not argue that point at all. It's a point of contention that years ago, a photographer from the Kansas City paper took his negatives with him. The newspaper sued him. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court
wow.
said, no, that's an original piece of art. It belongs to him, not the newspaper. But
very
believe
good.
me, I've got that copyrighted in red ink.
Cool, thanks, John.
Hi,
Hi.
great pictures.
She doesn't know
Thanks.
that I was the director of photography for about 20 years. And that was a point of contention at the end, is
Yeah,
some of the photographers wanted to be able to use their work, and we got in quite a controversy about it, so.
That's
If you
good to
sign-
know.
yeah. If
Hey,
you sign a
John?
contract, and tell them that they own the picture, you've given up your rights to the photograph.
Yeah, if you haven't signed
Um,
anything, no. it's-
Yeah, but you got to be real careful. Anything I post is going to be 72 DPI at about 6 inches. So nobody can blow it up and make anything out of it unless they contact.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, if they do post stuff, they should be careful with resolution and
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
I'm thinking about doing this for a living. I'm not sure yet, but
Well, that's good
But the-
information. That's good to
Well,
know.
the festival,
I've shot John a lot.
yeah, the festival is a lot of fun, as she's indicated tonight. It's a whole week, as I look at it, it's a whole week of free pictures. 'Cause
Mhm.
there's so many wonderful things going on. And the Cherry Festival is great to work with. And the events are always fun.
Yep.
right, and there's nothing that says, if you take 800 images, nothing says you have to turn 800 into the Cherry Festival. And either, right? So
No.
you're a volunteer and you can hold some of those back too. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I will probably take, I think, 2,000 or so, and they
Mhm.
might get half of that or so, but I'll keep some for me,
Mhm.
just to put in my portfolio. So,
Yep.
but yeah, yep.
And the
Yeah, I
beauty of
usually try
photography
to
is
have my
nobody-
photographers. I had about 12 at the highest amount, I think. But I
Mhm.
would tell them at a lot of events, no more than 2 pictures per event, unless they were really telling a story or really felt they needed them, because you could get overloaded so quickly with 12 photographers. But you wanted to cover the events properly. But, the photographers usually would do their call, put in their best, and then I usually had three photographers that some of them were ex-pro or pros. So then we would do a final call, and then that would be submitted to the festival. And then they would then make their, we actually made a book. I don't know if they still have the books, but we used to make prints, and then the books were made so they could pull those images, scan them, and use them for, a lot of originally we shot film, and then eventually we went to digital. So, but they actually produced a book, and people could come in and look at it and that kind of thing. And they would pull the pictures and scan them. And then with the digital, we always gave them, we had the Sam's Club was doing all our processing, and then they scanned everything and put it on CDs.
Oh, wow.
We also submitted all those. So the marketing department then could pull up anything they wanted.
Hmm.
The one thing I always think of when I edit images is the person you're giving the pictures to has no idea what you did not shoot. They only see what you captured that you give to them. And I learned back with Jerry Ford always take 2 cameras with you. So if you want to shoot something for yourself, use the second camera for yourself.
Yes.
I always did that with film because the problem I had when I was working on my book was you send your rolls of film down to Grand Rapids or Detroit or Chicago. You never see the film again. It's gone forever. So unless you have some way to capture those images, and that's the kind of thing, if you give up a thumb drive and you put everything you own on it, you always send copies out. Keep the originals on a hard drive or something. Because now we actually, for the first time in the history of photography, as a digital photographer, we have control over the image.
Yeah.
I mean, really, really control.
Yeah.
So something to think about, huh?
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So David put Tressa's email. It's actually toward the top of the chat. And if you are interested in volunteering, shoot her an email, and they can do that right now, right? And you'll just add them, you'll just add their name to your database.
Yeah.
Okay. And you will start soliciting interest around April, did you say?
Yep. April, usually I kind of reach out, usually April or May.
Okay.
Just depending when, usually end of May, June, I get really busy, but then after that first week of June, I kind of just start doing one email at a time, just to
Yeah.
make sure they're still interested,
Yep.
you know, and stuff. So.
Okay. And do you have social media accounts where people can follow what you're doing, Tressa?
Yep. I have, Instagram and a Facebook right now.
And who, so I
Okay.
did try to find you, and there are more than one, so I couldn't exactly tell. So what's your handle on Instagram?
Let me see. It's, I think that one, sorry,
No,
I
it's all right.
should know it, but I set it up. Account. Oops. Let's see. Can't find it. I know it's the one where I'm at DC. That's my
Oh.
picture.
Okay.
Yeah,
And how about
that's
Facebook?
it's just my first and last name. And it's
Okay.
just a picture
Yeah.
of me.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, I
Perfect.
can't remember the Instagram one right now because
That's okay. I'll look for it and find you in DC, and I'll send that out.
Yep.
Gosh, great, fascinating information inside the Cherry Festival. Any last questions for Tressa?
No, but I'll say if somebody wants to really fine tune their event shooting skills, it's a good way to do it. You'll get a lot of practice. You learn your equipment, learn how to shoot quick,
Yeah.
learn how to
Yep.
see, watch people, and people
Right.
watching. And like I say, all these events, I really enjoyed a lot of the young kids. There's just the smiles, the fun, everything going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you're going to really develop. If you want to really get used to being a fast shooter, learn to see, watch what's going on. You're looking all the time. It's a good way to get a lot of practice.
Yep.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Having
so,
me.
so much. Really, really interesting information, and we'll get that processed in the next, a few days or so, and it'll be up on the YouTube channel, everyone. So if you want to go back and listen or see anything, you'll be able to do that. For members, the critique night abstract coming up in a couple of weeks, and discussion group, Steve, is in February, and it is, we just talked about it. Intentional camera motion,
On February 11th.
February 11th.
Yep.
And then
Great.
the following Thursday is the program with Charles Needle. So hope to see you all again real soon.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Good
the
night.
presentation.
Yep. Good night. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Glad it was on
Thank
Zoom.
you.